News, the president met with his national security team in the Situation Room today. It comes as the Defense Department is expediting the deployment of an additional aircraft carrier to the region.
Forces say they targeted missile launch and storage sites in Iran. In a Truth Social post earlier today, the president brought up the topic of targeting Iran's supreme leader, saying, quote, "We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now." Leading us off this hour, NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley in Tel Aviv and NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba. Matt, I'll start with you because I understand the IDF has identified more missiles launched toward Israel. What's the latest right now?
That's right, Zigley, but I've come to you every night, and sometimes we get these alerts on our phone. I think I showed that to you the other night, telling us in advance, get near to some sort of shelter. You're about to start hearing the sirens, and then we heard the sirens. That's not what we're seeing. We've heard, basically on the news, that Iran has been launching a new array of missiles toward Israel. We haven't gotten our warnings on our phones. We haven't heard the sirens that normally would be blaring if this attack were imminent. Instead, we did hear that those missiles were headed towards Haifa, the area around there, in the northern part of Israel. There were alarms there, but even there, the people there have been allowed or have been told by the Israeli military that they can leave their shelters, which goes to show the threat there has passed. And guys, I gotta tell you, this is the 5th day now of fighting back and forth between the Iranians and the Israelis. It was the Israelis, of course, who started all of this off with their unprecedented early attack on Friday morning. But last night, really the past 24 hours, has been the latest put up again ever since this all kicked off. And it was a rare night last night where we didn't see any casualties. The first night since this started where the Israeli officials, health officials, reported no deaths. In fact, we did hear from the Israeli Ministry of Health saying that 154 people had been injured, all of them injured, either trying to rush to their safe rooms or out of panic or anxiety attacks. Guys.
Appreciate that, and maybe we should note that we have heard from our Tehran bureau or our NBC presence there that they're hearing some explosions, so we'll keep tabs on that as well. Monica, the president's been posting quite a bit on social media. What is the White House, what are the national security team saying at this point?
Well, there's lots to discuss, Kate, and there's lots that they're weighing currently, according to the president's own. If he wanted to, the U.S. He's talking specifically about the of Iran, which he wrote earlier today on Truth Social, that the U.S. knows exactly where he's hiding. He wrote that he's an easy target but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, parentheses, kill him, at least for now, but then saying our patience is wearing thin. Again, raising this question of how involved, if at all, the U.S. will be in a more offensive military sense, which is the big question likely they're discussing in this meeting. And after that, unconditional surrender. So he did leave the G7 early to come back and have some of these face-to-face meetings. He said he wanted to be sure to have them in person, and if Friday's any indication, these could be lengthy meetings where some big decisions are made, and it's unclear exactly which direction the president will go, but it seems to be he's trying to set the stage for it to proceed militarily, his rationale for that.
And Matt, let's go back to you. Can we talk about those so-called bunker buster bombs? We have reporting that the U.S. has been reluctant to give target nuclear facilities. Can you explain why Israel feels that they need that weapon specifically?
Well, Israel needs that particular weapon, often called the mother of all bombs, which is, just goes to show this is the largest non-nuclear, largest conventional weapon that the U.S. has in its arsenal. I think it's really only used it once before in 2017 on a ISIS tunnel complex in Afghanistan, and it was a huge blast that killed nearly 100 militants then. The Israelis say they need this because they want to complete the job. job. Remember, their stated goal of this whole military operation is to totally destroy Iran's enrichment capabilities for uranium. They've almost done that entirely. There's some verification left to be done at the Natanz nuclear facility. That's the main Iranian nuclear enrichment facility. What they're waiting for is the Fordow facility. It's smaller, deeper in the mountains. It needs one of these huge weapons that only the Americans possess.
All right, Matt Bradley, Monica Alba, thank you both.
We are also following breaking news out of North Carolina about singer R. Kelly.
The artist, whose legal name is Robert Sylvester Kelly,